Well, I must admit, I was swithering just a little bit as to whether or not to do a seeds to sow video this month or not. They can get a little bit samey, but then there were some things going on that I thought, let's show you what's happening. Let's show you what I'm doing, some bits and pieces, and more importantly, now is a really, really good time to buy any new seeds that you might want, because over the last sort of few days, the likes of Sutton's, DT Brown, Thompson and Morgan, they've all started their big summer seed sales. Get a list made. Think about what you want later in the year. Think about what you might want next year, and get some shopping done. Some of them are right down, like even Premier Seeds Direct had a sale on, and I think one of the companies, I don't remember which one, have a look at all of them anyway, get some bargains, but one of them was right down to 69p a packet, which, let's be honest, is pretty cheap, especially when the price of everything these days is going up. So we've got a little bit of a mix and match today for what seeds we're doing this month. Not only do I have some seeds, I've also got some little plants to show you that I started. So I've gotten a little bit of a panic, probably the tail end of last month, probably, about 2 weeks ago. And I was like, man, I've got no stuff to replace the things that I'm harvesting. So I've got a bit of a gap and I'm trying to fill the gap. So I started sowing loads of stuff. So some of the seeds are actually little plants this month, but a lot of them are actually seeds. And speaking of which, let's kick off with some seeds and some of the ones. This is a seed and a plant show and tell, this one. Spring onions. As always, I use loads of spring onions. You'll have heard me show and tell. Here we go. You'll have heard me going on about these loads and loads of times. These ones are Ishikura. No, they're not Ishikura. These are Katana. Katana, my absolute favourite. Spring onions, they grow brilliantly. They're going to get planted out very, very soon. Going to replace them though this time round. Going to do some, successional sowing. Going to do some slightly different ones. Ishikura, as I got mixed. That's why I said Ishikura before, because I had it in my head because I've got the packet of seeds here. So we'll do some Ishikura, and you'll have to excuse my pronunciation. And I'm going to read the packet for this one. Rosa de Inverno Cel Rubino. There we go. So a red coloured spring onion. So we've got some of the traditional white ones, and we've got some red ones just to throw in the mix. And I think the red ones especially, when you're doing a salad, I'd eat loads of salads at this time of year, especially at lunchtime. Nice and healthy. Chucking a bit of colour in there, chucking the red in there, I think looks absolutely brilliant. And one thing I'm trying to, I should have mentioned at the start is, please ignore the auto vent. It's a little bit broken for some reason yesterday. The screw came out of there and it's dropped down, so I need to fix that. So let's just pretend that that's not there when we're doing this video. What else am I doing? I have noticed in my carrot bed, I've got a gap. I've got like a gap where there's been no germination. So I'm going to do some carrots, and now is about the last-ish time. I'm going to do another one. I did some Chardonnay carrots and buckets last year, polytunnel greenhouse, all that jazz. I'll come to that at a later date though. Speedo F1, hopefully it does what it says on the tin, and they're going to go really quickly. So the spaces that I've got in my bed, I'm going to put the Speedo F1 in there. So I won't have a full bed of them, but I don't like having a gap in there. So I'm going to fill the gaps in that are already there. Nothing's growing in them. Get them in, hopefully Speedo. And again, pushing my luck just a little bit because a glance at the back of the packet. So outdoors, July is probably the end for carrots, but watch out again. I would have done the Chardonnay ones today. I haven't got any seeds left. I thought I had some seeds left from last year, but I don't. And carrot seed is one of those things that you really need to buy fresh every year. Now, all my other seeds I will use for years and years and years and years and years. Generally, all right. I usually ignore the dates on the back of the packet. They don't mean too much. Carrot seed, parsnip seed's the other one. Fresh seed every single year. Speaking of successional sowing, if you saw my other video, just the week there, we've started harvesting the beetroot. So we've got gaps. Beetroot is one of the things that I know how to do something with. I've got a really great pickling recipe. I've got a really great relish recipe. So I don't mind growing loads of it, harvesting it, preserving it to keep it going throughout the winter. And my absolute rock solid variety here is Bolt Hardy, because it's, believe it or not, it's quite warm. We've had a couple of weeks of really grotty weather, but we're coming into a little bit of a heat wave coming up here. Certainly for here in Scotland, it's going to get up to a bit of a toasty sort of 26 degrees this week, so it'll be a bit much for me. But yeah, Bolt Hardy, again, does what it says on the tin. When it's getting hot, it's getting a bit iffy, it's going to survive, it's not going to bolt, and you're going to get some great size beetroot from it. Lettuce, again, successional sowing. I mentioned before about the spring onions. I use loads and loads of lettuce, and just to show you that, we've got loads of different varieties here as well. We have got Clarion, we've got Barcelona, which is a type of iceberg, we've got Paris Cos. I love the Frenchy seeds. You'll have seen there's probably garden centres, you don't really see them online, you see them in the garden centres. Two different types there, Biz di Lataglio and another one called Canasta. Brilliant varieties. Done them last year, done them this year, rock solid. Some of the other ones, bog standard lettuces, brilliant everyday salad sort of lettuces. The Italian ones there, something a little bit different, a little bit special, and absolutely delicious. Another one, this is the last of the seeds. We're going to come onto the plants in just a moment. Some Dwarf French beans. I'm still swithering. I'm still on the fence as to whether I'm going to do these or not. This is absolutely the last point, I think, for doing French beans. If we have a bit of an Indian summer, if it works out well here in Scotland, I'll probably do all right. If not, I might just be wasting my time, so I'll have to wait and see. But I like a bit of a gamble sometimes. I might do a bit of a gamble. As long as it stays lovely and warm in here in the greenhouse, get them germinated nice and quickly, bring them on nice and quickly, get them planted out nice and quickly. I'll have a little bit of hope, Anyway, first batch of plants. You can see I said a panic sowed, and I just chucked a load of seeds in tubs. And this is Swiss chard, and this is a rainbow variety. I don't know if you can quite see there, but all the different stems will be different colours. When they grow, there'll be reds, oranges, yellow sorts of colours. Chard is really, really versatile. I don't find it has a lot of flavour, but you can cook it into all sorts of stuff. Casseroles, stews, stir fries, chilies, whatever, you name it, chop it up, chuck it in. You can also use it in salads, the leaves and things like that. Chuck it in a salad. Job's a good one. Pretty versatile, pretty hardy. Will probably keep going for most of the winter, if not all the winter. If we have a really, really, really cold winter, it'll suffer. Most of the time, it'll do all right. Speaking of lettuce, as we mentioned before, we've got some little gems on the go. Now, I love little gem. They're coming along lovely. Probably actually them and the Swiss chard. I think this is about 2 weeks. I'm sure they've, 19th of June. Helps if I read the label. 19th of June, these were sown. So all the ones I'm going to show you today were all sown on the same day. Little gem, coming along lovely. Probably taken out of these quarter-size seed tray. Another week or two in here, and they'll be ready to go out. Next up, we've got some purple top Milan turnips, and they very much need a drink. I can even feel by picking them up that the tub is a bit light, so they need a drink, and they're all getting a bit floppy there. You can see they're leaning over. Love that. Again, it's another one that is quite versatile. Everyone thinks a turnip, boil it up to within an inch of its life, mash it up, and it's done. Slice it really, really thinly, eat it raw in a salad. Delicious. Just adds another dimension, another just a little bit of flavour in there. And last but not least, just to show you how quickly these actually grow, this is multi-sown radish, and radish is one of the fastest growing things. It's the very first thing I grew on my allotment years ago because I knew it would grow so quickly, and just when you're first starting out, to get it done really, really quickly. This is French Breakfast 3, and you can see there since the 19th of June, that's ready to go out. They probably should have been out at the weekend, just gone there, but you can see just how big they are. The multi-sown, there's anywhere between sort of 3 and probably 10 seeds per cell. We'll chuck them out, and I reckon in about another 6 weeks, they'll be pretty much ready to harvest. And you can do that with any sort of radish. There's loads of different varieties out there. White icicle is another one that I quite like. But French Breakfast 3, that's your bog standard, really good radish. Anyway, that is me done for today. Remember those seed sales, your DT Browns, your Suttons, your Thompson and Morgans, all the other ones, you name them. Get out there, get some shopping done, get a bit of retail therapy done, ready for the year ahead. But that is me done for today. Thank you very much for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.